What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at Griezmann 88, the Barcelona road to the final, and there's been a few decent selections in terms of the road to the finals, and I really hope that eventually they do get like the big upgrade like they did last year, just because by the end of the Champions League these cards literally are worthless. With someone like Griezmann, maybe he could be something, but by the time we get to the Champions League final, we're looking at team of the season. So for me, they're just not worth it in the end. Right now, though, Griezmann's a nice player. Do I think he's worth 615,000 coins? That's something that I'm going to have to decide in the review. Let's get into it. We'll go into the in-game, we'll have a look at a bit of gameplay and the end review, and let's get it. We are on 97 reviews, only 3 away from 100. Let's get it. So if we do dive into Griezmann, 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot, left-footed, 5'9", with a medium work rate. He is body type NA. What would I say he is? He's kind of like a lean. It's kind of like an average build, really, in terms of height. Lean build, I'd say. And overall, a nice player, but he's just not the meta this year, in my opinion. I think he's good, but I would not be paying over 600,000 coins for this card to be in my team. There is so many more options. You are literally half away from an Mbappe. I know 600k coins, trying to double that if you've only got 600k, it's difficult in terms of if you don't know trading, if you don't know all of this good stuff in terms of upgrades and stuff, you're going to find it very difficult to try and get 1.2 mil, but definitely do not buy a Griezmann for 600k. He will go up. I can see Barca going forward. Obviously, they probably will go a little bit into the Champions League. Whether they kind of get knocked out in quarters, in semis, or even win the thing, I don't see them going that far into it. He'll probably get up to at least a 90-91, but I think his price is going to drop heavily as we go into the next few days of promos, as we get into kind of like the next couple of weeks before Champions League and kind of upgrades. But it's just how much he is. There is a lot of players at the moment that are going for an extortionate rate, and we saw the same with Rule Breaker. We saw Harry Kane going for 1.6 mil for the first couple of days. It only was since he's come out of packs, he's gone down to about 1.1, and I don't know where he is at now. But I think it's just absolutely absurd to see that sort of money being spent on cards that are good, but they're not the best. I feel like if you're going to be going for something like that, you can get a huge team upgrade instead of buying that one card. Now, in terms of Griezmann's stats then, obviously nation-wise, cracking links. Can't argue with that. Links Mbappe, links Messi. You can't argue with the fact that he does link well. Obviously, being Barca, it's always a premium price. Barcelona have some very nice cards. We've already got an Ansu Fati Player of the Month, and then we also have another league left wing for Player of the Month. I can't pronounce his name, but a review on him will be coming very soon. We've got 81 pace, which for me is the big killer. Even with the chemistry style of like a Hunter, I still don't think that's a good enough pace in my opinion. Dribbling wise, not a problem at all. I think he was a fantastic dribbler. I think he really held onto the ball very well, and overall is very nice on the ball. I think shooting wise, he was good, but it still felt a little bit lackluster. Obviously with a 3-star weak foot, I think it needs to be 4 or 5, especially if you're spending this sort of money, but he still could score. Got a cracking left foot on him. Right foot a bit iffy. We did find it kind of a little bit hard to score with. 86 passing. Again, for a striker, I don't necessarily need it. For 600k, I expect a better than like a 70 or 80 pass, which is good because 86 is decent. I think for Griezmann, I'd probably whack him as a cam, cam or centre forward. I feel like he's better suited. You whack a Hunter on this guy, he ends up with 91 pace and 93 shooting. He's a 90 cam, 91 CF or a 90 striker. For me, I think he definitely would play better as a cam. If you could get Messi, if you have a stupid amount of money, you've got Messi, you've got Mbappe, you've got Neymar, you could make a really nice kind of like 4 up front there. Griezmann could sit in that cam, you could have Messi and Neymar as left and right wings, and Mbappe up front. That for me would be then a worthwhile investment into him. 87 wise, I feel like he's probably just as good for literally a tenth of the price, but it is the fact that Griezmann will go up, and that will be nice if you are looking for a long-term investment there. Still don't think 600k would be worth it even with that sort of money, because if you've got that sort of money to splash around, you're not really too fussed about him being 600k and probably losing 100k or so here, there and everywhere. But in terms of stats, I think he's well-rounded, really decent on paper. Now let's have a look at the gameplay, see if he's worth it. So with Griezmann, you can always tell when a player for me has really kind of sparked an interest or not, and it's by the amount of clips. Griezmann really didn't have that many clips, and it's a shocking one, but I needed to get rid of him. Being so much money, I was very, very scared that he was going to drop, so I kind of went with the clips that really highlighted just 2 to 3 matches of him. The third match, I think we got a rage quit, which obviously was the better clips, and then one we did lose. But that normally tells me a lot about a card. If I haven't got many clips, then for me, it's just not the player. He's a striker especially. I expect to be doing really well with him. So if we do go into the overall for Griezmann, let's just double click, just make sure his price, 623. It's gone up a little bit. So we are finding kind of like the market is starting to rise a little bit. As we get later on into the night, we're finding that obviously people are not packing anyone, people are not buying packs. We've had that surge of packs already, so obviously he will go back up. We will get more promos tomorrow, so more than likely he may dip a little bit more. Will he dip that much? Probably not, because I feel like he's going to be one that's really hard to pack, and without no like kind of 100k packs, no lightning rounds, that's what makes this sort of promo and the rule breakers so expensive. With only 8 rare player packs coming in on the market, that means there's going to be a limited amount of Road to the Finals on the market at one time. Obviously, as we get into more promos with better cards, that's when we see the less of demand for the card like this, and then more of a supply in other cards, meaning that this price drops again. It's kind of like it's an up and down market, as we know. At the minute, we've kind of got this weird thing that it's just going down a hell of a lot more than it should be, and then who knows what happens on Black Friday. Does it absolutely plummet to the floor, or do we get a little bit of an increase? Do we get a good promo that obviously comes during then? It's going to be an interesting one, and then obviously Icon SBCs is going to throw a massive spanner in the works for all of fodder. But in terms of stat wise, what Griezmann's like, for me I think it's just a bit lackluster for 600k. I expect a hell of a lot more from him. He played well, but I've seen Werner play just as well. I've seen Martial play just as well. Granted, you could have another 50 matches with him and he could be absolutely insane. That for me is I want an instant player that shows me how good he is. For me, I've given him an 8 out of 10. I think he is good and more than likely will go up. So he's bound to hit a nice sort of rating. But I think for me, it's just not quite where I want it right now. You've got an informed Martial who's cheaper. You've obviously got, not an informed Martial, an informed Rashford in fact. You've got a Werner. You've got a Naki Williams SBC card. You've got Haaland who's quite good. Even his inform was quite decent. There is a lot. Even a Felix in fact is quite a nice card and relatively pretty cheap for the price. For me, Griezmann's a good card, just not quite up there with the standard. In terms of what you can put on him, I think cam-wise will suit him really down to the ground. He's got really nice passing, very, very nice dribbling. Yes, no strength, but I think he'll kind of be able to go around with the 4-star skills. And then he's got very nice shooting, and with the chemistry style, a decent pace. Didn't think he was amazingly quick, but definitely gets the job done. In terms of traits outside of the foot, finesse and flair, so good traits, I can't argue with anything there. And overall, I just think he's a little bit lackluster in my opinion. Generation wise, FIFA 12 is when we got him at Real Sociedad. That is insane. Team of the season in 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. He has had a team of the season since FIFA 14. That is absolutely incredible. Can we make it the 7th year with a team of the season Griezmann? That's going to be very interesting to see. And with something like his foot birthday, he's had it 2 years back to back. I'm interested to see, can we get another one from him? But hopefully you did enjoy this video. Let me know down below what you think. We're going to be smashing out these reviews. We've got so many to catch up on. Make sure you like and subscribe. Always hits the algorithm. See you all for the next one. Peace.